and welcome all of you to Monty's Chat. Hey, just so good to see you today. And we just thought we'd come out in the garden, and we mentioned the other week that we wanted to show you our little work that we've been doing around our property here in Aruba. And for those of you who don't know, I'm Monte Cagle, and it's Monty's Chat. And today we have my companion and friend for many years, my wife, Teresita Cagle. And here we are out here. And we are pastors, author, composers, teachers, mother and father of our 10 children, and world travelers and missionaries, and a host of other things. So we're just so happy to see you today. And we just want to remind you, want to thank all of you uh, for the weeks gone by of the many, many, many of encouraging thoughts and encouraging videos and emails and likes and all the wonderful things that you guys have been sending us. And it's just so encouraging. We love to hear from you every single time, and it's just awesome. We really mean it. We really do. It's just so cool to be able to chat with you. And also, don't forget, if you'd like to have a very, very exciting, encouraging book on racial issues, especially in my book Racism and the Cure, get it at montecagle.com. And that said, let's get into it today. Hey, we're just so good to see you today. And we've been working hard this week here in the island of Aruba. You know, we're just us by ourselves here. Everybody's on lockdown. And it's just to tell you how serious it is here. Our next door neighbor, right across, every time we look right at our window, he has been uh, tested for corona, and he has his whole family right next door to us, and it's quite like, it's shocking. And another neighbor just passed. One of the kids died because of COVID here in the island. It's not so prevalent, but it's getting to be quite a thing here on the island. We're on partial lockdown. I think we're partial lockdown here on the island, and well, we're just here enjoying our yard. We just want to show you a little bit of our yard today. We've been inside for so long. We wanted to just come outside and get some fresh air out here in the island. We go to a beach occasionally. We walk over to the beach and go swimming. But we just wanted to show you the garden. As you can see, a few pictures that I took before we did this video. We're doing a little video today. It's a live video. We're just going to film it straight through. And we're going to just upload it to YouTube and just show you a little bit of the garden. We've been working on the garden all week, and we've been making little banquettes or little areas to grow our different food in. We are not survivalists. We are survivors. But under the circumstances of the world situation right now, we thought it'd be good if we had our own means of providing food for ourselves. So we've been learning everything about gardening and learning how to grow food. And I'll show you a few pictures. And it's so amazing. The things are growing already, and we're excited. And we'll be able to have our own greens and our own potatoes and carrots and peas and tomatoes and cucumbers real soon.
That's right.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Hey, what you been up to, Teresita, this week?
Nothing much. Up to no good.
What?
Well,
I hope you was up to some good here.
up to some good, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, I'm also enjoying the beautiful weather here. I see that it's getting very cold up over there in the States, in New York, and all those places up north. It's getting a bit cold already. We used to be in Germany, in Europe, and every time it gets like end of September, beginning of
Oh
October, oh my
God, I
God. In
used to really.
October, the wind starts blowing. We have to get, all your jackets and boots and gloves and shawls ready for the winter. And I think I finished with that because now I'm enjoying the sun and the beautiful weather. And you know what they say that for the COVID, a really good cure is vitamin D.
Wow.
Vitamin D, of course, eating healthy is part of it, but also it's very, very important that people have vitamin D, and that's what you get from the sun. A lot of people are going to the drugstore and buying vitamin D tablets and stuff. But if you can get it directly from the sun, it's even
It's so much
better,
better. So
right?
much better for you. So well, naturally,
Yes,
what can you say?
natural,
Natural
exactly, yes.
things.
So that's what we were doing, and we're just like Monty said, we've been planting papaya, mangoes. We have the fruits and vegetables. And what happened the other day was an iguana
Ah, guana.
ate all the leaves from a small papaya plant. We just planted it to the ground. We came, we saw him the first time, and he was already nibbling on some of the leaves, and
Oh, that little
we
guy.
got him away. And so we thought nothing of it. We thought, okay, he's never going to come back. But then the next day we come and all the leaves were gone off the tree. I mean, there's so much grass on the
I mean, it's
ground.
like it's.
Why doesn't he eat that? There's so much green everywhere, but he wanted those
I
green
can't believe it. Just
leaves from
it
the
only had like
papaya
it had like
tree.
four leaves on the little tree. It's only about this
It's such a
high,
beautiful
about high
tree.
my arm,
Yeah.
and sure enough, it had about six to seven beautiful leaves on it. So he just came and munch, and then
Munched the whole
one,
thing?
we ran him off, and
Yeah.
then we went inside the next day and came outside, and there was not one leaf left. But thank
Wow.
God, they're little growing right back again, and we're gonna have some nice papayas.
Yes, and
And
they grow really fast.
oh yeah,
The neighbors, they have a papaya tree, and in 1 year, the papaya tree already gave fruits
we had papaya yesterday, the last couple of
from what
days,
the neighbors
from
gave
where
us
the neighbors
from
grew.
their garden. Was only a year old.
Hmm.
It was
So we were
amazing.
surprised.
It was so delicious and sweet.
It's
It
very
was
very good.
awesome. Yeah.
So we're just really surprised about how things are here, and we also want to encourage you guys. I hope you all are preparing in the states. We always talk about the states because all of our kids, pretty much all of our kids, live there, and in the West and in Europe, and the things are getting hot and heavy worldwide, and it's such an unprecedented time in the world right now. We know
Yes.
it's just something. It's not normal. This isn't natural. What we're going through worldwide right now, and it's quite shocking to say the least. You know, we've been following the situation politically in America right now and worldwide, and it's just we're living in the end.
Exactly.
I don't want to
You
be an
can't get
alarmist.
around it.
You don't want to be an alarmist, but I've never seen anything like what is going on right now.
Right.
You know, and so we want to encourage you. Oh, yeah, we also we're, we're watched a lot of the politics in the states. What happened with the debate between Vice President Pence and
Kamala
Kamala
Harris.
Kamala Harris? I can never say
Yeah.
it.
Kamala.
Kamala Harris, and it was just I can't believe it. He was just basically. I mean, normally I'm not so interested in who cares about the Republicans or Democrats, but the guy was basically dominating the conversation, and he basically told the truth. Uh, I don't want to be down on the Democrats, but I couldn't believe Kamala Harris was basically saying a lot of lies, and it just shows you what typical politicians are like. You know, of course, Pence is a politician too, but I've seen her speak several times because I'm being a Black American. I'm very interested in what's happening with
Mm.
Black Americans. She doesn't. It's not a Black American, but she's getting there. But uh, she just told a lot of lies, and because I've heard her speak several times, I've heard her say certain things, and she just lied, and I was so shocked. And you just can't trust a lot of these politicians nowadays. And it's just like the Bible said, they would sit at one table and tell lies amongst themselves. And that's what's happening quite a bit. So the world situation is just really sad, but we want you to continue to look up to Jesus and look up to God because He has the solution for all of you and for all of us
Mhm.
real soon. And we won't have to be suffering this stuff real soon. If things
Right.
continue the way they are, it seems that we are definitely living in those last days before the Lord Jesus Christ Himself will return. I mean, I'm not looking for the rapture before the tribulation or that Jesus is going to pop out of the sky any minute, but there are certain things that are going to be happening politically in the Middle East that seems to be brewing up right now and heating up. And America itself, it just looks like it's on the skids going down the tubes, and it's just seems to be unstoppable. I'm so mad about this stupid Black Lives Matter thing. You know, they see the, and all these people pandering to the Black Lives Matter movement and Antifa. It's just sad, you know. Look, you're a black person, and you just see that happening to the culture, happening to the people, and the things they're saying are just lies. And well, I guess a lot of Americans, a lot of Americans want to be socialists and be communist states, communist countries, like their counterparts, like in China and Russia right now. Even the Russians kind of threw off the communist thing, and it's just amazing. You know, I'm just really blown away.
Mhm. That's
But anyway,
true.
look on the bright side. As soon
Yeah.
as everything gets bad
Yeah.
and
Things
everything
will
falls
get.
apart, then the Lord Himself can come
Mm.
and bring closure to all this chaos and turmoil that we're going through. And we really, really want to encourage you to keep looking up to Jesus and if
Yes.
you know Him, we just want to encourage you to read the Bible. It's just amazing all the things that are happening. And we want to encourage you to keep putting your confidence in the Lord. I know it's a faith walk, and now everything around us looks like total mess. But if we continue by faith and continue to go on and continue to trust, continue
Yes.
to look to Jesus, continue to look to God, He is going to give you peace of mind,
That's right.
closure, and He's going to bring a real stability to your life.
Mhm.
And just one little reminder, please don't get try us just to live one more day. There was a time when I wanted certain things to happen, and some of the I worked in some places that I thought like God, I can't stand this life, or I can't live through this what I was going through, that little turmoil. And someone just said, all you got to do is just take one day at a time. You don't have to think about the future. And when you read the scripture, what Jesus said, take no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. In the book of Matthew, it's like Jesus just, I used to always hear that, keep giving it to God. Keep giving, give what? Give all your burdens and your cares to Jesus.
That's right.
And a little explanation like, just talk to Jesus, tell Him what's on your heart, and He'll take care of it. Sometimes you're just like, I can't do this, God. I can't stand what I'm going through, or how will I make it another year like this? So, but the Lord doesn't expect us to worry about a year from now or
Right.
years from now. What's going to happen when this happens? Or what's going to happen another day? Or what's going to happen next week? Or what's going to happen next month? All we have to worry about is what is happening today. Jesus said, sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Take no thought. Just every hour, if you can just go through another hour, and you go through that next hour, and then you go through that next hour, before you know it, the day's gone by.
That's
And
true.
if you get busy doing things that you may like, or jobs or things you may not like, you'll be surprised. You come at that night, you'll lay back and say, God, I got a lot of stuff done today. And it's like, oh my God, life wasn't so bad after all. Well, I didn't have to kill myself after all.
Mhm.
You know, it's not funny, but it's just the truth. And I've seen this over and happen over and over and over and over to me. And the things that we've gone through, it's like, with just one more day, just give it one more day. And you know what? The next day, God will see you through. And
That's
you would have
right.
lived another day and made it. and before you know it, you find yourself in that peace zone again.
Yeah, that's true.
You know. So just keep trusting Jesus. Just like I just started. We started making raised garden beds.
Hmm.
Uh, you can see the one behind us. This is going to be for our cucumbers and tomatoes. We made like little screens. They're going to go up, and you can see the other picture of already we have lettuce growing. We already have spinach growing, and we already have mustard mustard plants growing, salad, because it's just scarce here. It just doesn't. A lot of it does exist, but it's super expensive. So we were thinking about it. We were praying about what can we do, man, to kind of make things a little more bountiful here in the island. And the Lord, we were praying about it. God always has a solution to every problem. And he said, wait, why don't we just grow our own grocery, grow our own food? And we're like, what? What? Grow your own food? And sure enough, uh, we've been growing our own food, and
That's right.
it's starting to happen. And like she was telling me about the papaya, we just had that the other day from our next door neighbor. They grow their own food, and we're like, what? It was like, we get so I say brainwashed that you got to do so, you got to go to the grocery store, and like sure enough, we started growing our own, uh, making our own garden, and we're surprised the food is just coming up, and pretty soon we'll have an abundance of a lot of the articles that we missed in our shopping. Oh my God, there he goes. I can't believe it. There's lizards running all around our legs right now. I can't believe this is the island of lizards. So you were Aruba. So how about you, Teresita? How was your week? How did everything
It's
go?
great.
Yeah, what would you do? What did you
It was
get done?
awesome. Um, I did a lot.
What?
What do people do here on an island? They relax.
That's true here. I guess we
Life is slow. You don't have to rush anywhere. So basically, I've been. What I do work on a little bit is face masks because it's like mandatory. I'm sure there's going to be a time when it's going to be finished. I mean, but
thank
that
God it'll
people
be
have to
over
wear
sometime.
face masks. But now, a lot of people are using face masks, so I'm going to be making more, concentrating on that. And I've been trying to uh, um, experiment a lot with food,
Mm-hmm.
um, to to make like my own bread, making my own milk,
What?
veg
Oh, I was saying what?
vegan
No,
milk.
she's really doing a
I don't
good
have
job.
cows,
And making her own
but
milk.
making my own milk. I learned how to make milk from yellow split peas, and it's very
Wow.
delicious. Or oat milk, almond
She
milk,
has been making
different
yogurt,
things
and
like that.
it's
And
out
I
of
also am learning
plant
how to
based.
make vegan, yogurts and everything vegan because I really don't like, you know, I've been vegan for like almost 9 years
God, has it
now.
been 9 years already?
Actually, almost
Wow.
10. I think it's been 9 years because 2011 we
What?
became, so it's like about nine
Well,
years now.
it's a lot better. I mean, for me, I've experienced a tremendous uh, boost in my health, and I don't have a lot of pains in my joint. I
Yeah,
started having joint pains and things like that when
right.
I was eating a lot of meat, and I dropped it. I said about 80%. Occasionally, I'll eat something, some meat, like some steak or fish, fish. But she
Yeah.
hasn't had any kind
But
of pain.
that's what I'm learning to experiment. Like I said before, way a couple of months ago, I was working on a book,
Mm.
but it takes a long time to actually get the right combinations and to get the right recipes for this and that. You have to experiment a lot,
Hmm.
and you have to change things if it doesn't come out
Oh
perfect.
my God, these are
Uh,
tourists. We are
who's
getting
that?
some tourists here,
Yes,
and they kind of rumble through the neighborhood with their little like dirt bikes or something like
dune
that.
buggies.
Dune buggies, what you call it? There's a
Yeah.
lot of dune, little desert. It's a real desert terrain
Desert
here.
buggies,
So they
yeah.
take out these little dune buggies out, and the tourists they kind of go all over in the neighborhoods. And we are very close to the beach,
Yeah,
so occasionally they rumble by.
they
The
rumble by.
tourists
So
rumble
that
by.
was that. So yeah, but that's basically what I've been doing. I'm still working on recipe book, vegan recipe book.
Mm.
But we have to come to the point where we actually don't have to be dependent on the grocery stores very
We
soon.
we we
We are
want to
trying to
try that
become
out.
self-sufficient where we have everything, we grow everything that we need for food.
Mm.
And also, of course, we're not going to plant wheat and things like that. So basically,
It's not a
those
wheat
things
place.
we still
Oh,
need
sorry.
to work on. But uh, it's really not expensive making your own bread, making your own milk, making your
It's
own
been really
yogurt,
cool. It's
things
been
like
really
that.
cool to make our own stuff.
And so
It's a,
we want to plant whatever we can so that we could be self-sufficient, and we eventually we want to live off the grid, of course.
we're we're gonna see if we can live off the grid with water and also
Start
electricity.
solar maybe.
We're looking to all the different possibilities. I
Yes,
mean, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it, kind of a
that's right.
situation. And it's like it is. We're not. It is. Things do look like they're wrapping up worldwide, and it's just becoming more and
Yes,
more chaotic. And I know the public utilities will not be able to function as well. Like we're
right,
watching it happen around the world right now, and it's just
right.
blowing our minds.
You know,
And so it's good to
before
know.
before on this property we used to have a windmill,
That's
and
right.
that would generate, because here before there was no city electricity. The lines didn't come this far, so we had our own electricity.
Hmm.
And I don't know how I think we had maybe a well for water.
Yeah, there was a
There
well
was a
here.
well.
When I first came here 40 years ago, 40
Yeah.
some years, 40, uh, there used to be, there's a building right there now where was, we had a larger area, but there was a water, a little pool they made above ground, cement pool that had tons of water in it, and there was
Yeah.
a windmill pump that
Yeah.
used to pump underground ground water. By the time I got here, it wasn't working. It was still
Yeah.
there, but they had stopped using it for some years. And electricity, like you said, I think her
Yes.
grandfather used to have a, a what do you call it, like electric generator,
Yeah,
right? He
because
wasn't.
this used to be a weekend house.
Yeah, this
This
is.
used
Well,
to
you
be
can
their
see
weekend house, and there was nothing around
this
the area. It was
there. You can see some
completely
houses behind
deserted.
us now. There's hundreds of houses now in this neighborhood. But when I first came here
It was this
40 years
desert.
ago, when we first met, each lived, got together. There was the only house.
Yes.
We used to walk, we'd walk for
A
like half a
dirt
mile
road
down
to come
to
home.
go to town. It's dirt road, and so now it's all
It's all built up.
built up. It's all modernized and everything, electricity and everything. But it's a pretty good survival situation still because it's still on the edge of the woods, around
Right.
the edge of the woods. But I was just like to encourage any of you who are to really consider being able to survive. And if you can stay if you do have your own land, if you
Hmm.
do have your own house, if you are in a situation where you know you can stay there, even if you're renting or whatever, it's always wise to have some kind of survival plan worked out for water, for your light, electricity, and food. So due to the fact that this is not a canned place, you know, you know, it is a canned country, meaning that everything comes from America, comes from outside the island, and there's very few cultivation here,
But
farming
canned
and
food is
canning.
super
It's good.
expensive.
It's super expensive here. So we're growing our own food. I'll show you a few pictures. You can see some of you, or maybe you saw the pictures in the video that I'll be making. We're kind of semi-live. We're going to do this video straight through. But we want to encourage you all in America and worldwide to have some kind of plan worked out for a survival food situation, to have something saved in your house, to have water aside. Because, like right now, in the next 2, 3 weeks when they have the election, they're predicting a lot of chaos, a lot of clamor. Like they just said, if Biden wins, uh, there's going to be turmoil, and if Trump loses and wins, there's still going to be turmoil. So
Whether
any way you look
he
at it,
loses or wins,
where
it's
he
going to be
loses or win,
chaos.
it's going to be a mess.
Yeah,
So it'd be good to have some kind of bug out plan worked out, or some kind of survival situation that you don't have to go out of the house, even a little more stricter than the survival lockdown for the COVID lockdown. Just be prepared. Why not? Like Jesus wants us to be prepared for as much as we can. Like I've heard someone say, you do what you can, and God will do what you can't.
that's right.
Just like the children of Israel, He watched over them during the time of Moses, and we're living in biblical times, like a disasters of biblical proportions and upheavals and politically, socially. It's just economically right now. It's amazing. So it'll be good to be prepared. And one of the most important things to know and have is Jesus Christ in your life.
Amen.
Take that step. If you've never received Jesus, receive him as your personal savior, and boy, he'll take care of you or take you home or whatever. He's going to watch over you. And
That's right.
it's good to know. It just seems really like, folks, we're living in the time of the end, not the very final part. There's a lot of things the Bible predicted would happen, but it won't be long now. And not to look at that as a tough time, but look at it as a very encouraging time, a very happy time, that when God Himself will intervene on our behalf and bring us real peace and bring us a new world under the rule and reign of God Himself. When we'll have true justice, true peace, and just awesome life
That's right.
under His reign. So we just wanted to just show you a few pictures outside, and we do want to encourage you in this little short video to please consider survival, going into a survival mode and having things prepared for that. And you know what? If you'd like to have real peace of mind, if you don't know Jesus Christ, receive Him as your Savior by saying a simple prayer. If you really would like to have that contact with Him, you could say something like, Jesus, I really would like to have you in my life. I'd like to live a life of peace and have a life of just tranquility, a better way to live.
Mm.
Please forgive me for my sins. Come into my heart and give me your gift and assurance of eternal life in the name of Jesus. Simple as that. Because the Bible, then you have Jesus in your life. He becomes a part of you, and He'll lock into you, and He'll meld with you, and you will be one, and He'll watch over you and protect you in these difficult days ahead. The Bible says, and you may have heard this, but it's so true. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in Him should not perish, but have everlasting life. John 3:16. And there's another good verse in the Romans, the book of Romans, chapter 10, 9 and 10. It says that if thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus, and shalt believe in thine heart that God has raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. Simple as that. Meaning he'll be with you and you will be with him forever, regardless of whatever happens. It doesn't matter if the whole world goes haywire. It doesn't matter if your city goes haywire. It doesn't matter if everything falls apart in your life. Jesus will hold you in his hand and
That's
be with
right.
you in these troubled days ahead. So we'd like to wish you a very beautiful Sunday, and we hope you enjoyed this little short video, and we pray that you'll continue to log into our videos, watch our videos, share our videos, and comment as well. So greetings and lots of love from the island of Aruba. Have an awesome week, and see you next week right right here at Monty's Chat. And please get ready for these turbulent days ahead. You know, I mean, they're losing their minds. This BLM movement and Antifa and America looks like it's getting ready to go through some real troubled times.
That's right.
But remember that prayer you just prayed with me, and remember to read the Bible, the book of the New Testament, read the New Testament, and then later on read the other things, whatever you would like to. But read the book of John. It'll really encourage you and really lift your spirit and give you real peace of mind. So see you soon,
To
and
remember.
remember,
Yeah.
keep
Mhm.
looking up
That's right.
and look at our videos at the Monte Cagle YouTube channel and here on Facebook. Bye.
Bye.